Back in ancient times, people came up with some amazing stuff. They made tools and built things that were mind-blowing for their time. But here's the thing. Some of their creations are still a huge mystery to scientists. Even with all our modern knowledge, we're scratching our heads trying to figure out how they did it. From ancient marvels that perplex archaeologists to age-old devices that seem to transcend the limitations of their era, these relics of the past continue to defy explanation, challenging our understanding of history and innovation. Join us as we explore 15 such perplexing old technologies that scientists still cannot explain. Number 15. The Bong Pipes. Hidden in the remote mountains of Qinghai Province, China, there's a strange structure that doesn't fit with what we know from history and science. This mysterious thing is called the Bong Pipes. It all started in the late 1990s when a group of American scientists found pipe-like structures sticking out of the ground. These pipes were not like regular plumbing you'd see. They were found in one of the most unwelcoming and distant places on Earth, Mount Bong. As the researchers dug deeper, the mystery grew. The pipes came in different sizes, some as small as a toothpick, and others as big as a meter in diameter. They went deep into the mountain and even extended into a nearby saltwater lake. The material the pipes were made of puzzled everyone. 30% of it couldn't be identified, while the rest was a mix of iron and silicon dioxide. Later, in the early 2000s, the Beijing Institute of Geology got interested in these odd formations. Their discovery was astonishing. They claimed these pipes were around 150,000 years old. But here's the weird part. Human civilization, as we know it, only goes back about 10,000 years. So who or what could have made these pipes? There were lots of theories. Some thought they were made by an ancient advanced civilization, while others believed extraterrestrials might have been involved. Skeptics suggested the pipes might just be a natural oddity formed over thousands of years by geological processes. However, no theory completely explains the presence of the Bong Pipes. As time went on, despite many research efforts, the origin, purpose, and creators of these pipes remained a mystery. Were they made by an ancient civilization, evidence of aliens visiting Earth, or simply an amazing natural phenomenon? The Bong Pipes, discovered in the late 1990s, continue to baffle and captivate us, reminding us that there's still so much unknown in our world. They spark our curiosity and push us to seek answers, even when they seem beyond our reach. However, the question remains, who laid the Bong Pipes? Number 14. Nascal Lines. The Nascal Lines are huge drawings made on the ground in Peru's desert, about 1,500 to 2,500 years ago. They're so big that you can only see their shapes properly from high above, like from an aeroplane or a tall hill. These drawings are made by moving rocks and stones to create shapes of animals, plants, and lines that stretch across the desert floor. What makes them fascinating is that no one's completely sure why they were made. Some people think they were used for religious ceremonies, others believe they might have been related to astronomy or served as paths for rituals. But the truth is, we're still guessing about their real purpose. The Nascal Lines have puzzled scientists for years. These drawings are so large and precise that it's hard to believe they were created without any modern tools or technology. They're a mystery because we don't have written records from that time explaining their meaning, and the people who made them didn't leave any explanations. Even though we're not exactly sure why they were created, the Nascal Lines are incredible to look at and study. They give us a glimpse into the creativity and skills of ancient cultures. Scientists and historians continue to explore and study these mysterious lines, hoping to uncover more clues about their purpose and the people who made them so many years ago. Number 13. The Iron Pillar of Delhi. The Iron Pillar of Delhi is like a superhero of ancient architecture. It's this massive, tall iron column that's been standing in India for more than 1,500 years. And here's the kicker. It hasn't rusted away. Imagine this giant iron pole about 23 feet tall, standing proudly in Delhi, India, since the 4th century AD. What's mind-blowing is that even after all these centuries, it's still holding strong. This pillar has defied the typical rusting process that iron usually goes through. For scientists and historians, this pillar is a massive puzzle. You see, iron, when exposed to air and moisture, usually turns into rust over time. But not this one. It's almost like it has its secret shield against rust. The preservation of this pillar is so extraordinary that it's become a big curiosity for researchers worldwide. They've taken a deep dive into the iron's composition, trying to uncover the secret behind its rust-resistant powers. They discovered that the pillar has a unique combination of elements, especially a thin layer of something called misoite, which is kind of like a protective armor for the iron. This layer seems to be the reason why rust hasn't been able to take over. Now, here's the exciting part. Even with all our modern tech and knowledge, we're still trying to figure out exactly how ancient metallurgists made this pillar. Back then, they didn't have the fancy tools or techniques we have today, so this pillar's existence is a bit of a mystery. Some experts think it could be the ancient iron-making process that created this remarkable resistance to rust. Others believe it might be something about the environment or the specific iron used, but the mystery remains unsolved, and that's what keeps scientists buzzing with excitement. Number 12. The mysterious Greek fire. The Greek fire was a powerful weapon made by the Byzantine Empire around the 7th century. It's still a mysterious and fascinating invention. People back then thought it was one of the strongest weapons in war because it could set enemy ships on fire very accurately and cause huge damage. The Byzantines were super careful about keeping the recipe for Greek fire a secret. They passed it down through their family lines and kept it safe in a heavily protected place in Constantinople. Only a few trusted people knew about it because it was so important to keep it hidden. The Byzantines were serious about making sure no one found out how to make Greek fire. However, when the Byzantine Empire fell in 1453, the tightly protected secret of Greek fire was lost. As the empire crumbled, people lost track of where the vault containing the formula might be. Even with determined efforts from treasure hunters and historians, this mysterious substance continues to stay hidden, escaping discovery and keeping its secret hidden. There are many guesses about what happened to the formula for Greek fire. Some think the Byzantines destroyed it on purpose to stop it from being used wrongly, while others imagine it might have been cleverly hidden in a secret place, waiting to be found. The Greek fire's mystery keeps grabbing everyone's attention around the world. The idea that such a powerful weapon disappeared completely without a clue makes it interesting and mysterious. It's a puzzle that attracts curious people who are eager to uncover its secrets. Number 11. The Baghdad Battery. The Baghdad Battery, a puzzling ancient artifact, keeps grabbing the attention of scientists and historians. In fact, scientists still can't explain this ancient technology. It was made in ancient Persia, with an unusual mix of a clay jar, a copper cylinder, and an iron rod. When put together, it acts like a working battery, creating a small electric charge. What's surprising is that it predates other known discoveries of this kind of technology, showing how clever the people who made it were. Even though it works, we're still not sure what the Baghdad Battery was used for. Some think it might have been used to put a thin layer of metal on objects, a process called electroplating. This could make things better. Others believe it might have been part of religious rituals or ceremonies because that was a big part of daily life back then. Since there's no clear proof, people keep arguing about it, making the Baghdad Battery even more interesting. The Baghdad Battery itself shows how smart and skilled ancient civilizations were. It gives us a peek into a time when people found clever solutions, even with limited tools, showing how creative our ancestors were. Looking into the Baghdad Battery doesn't just tell us about old technology, but also shows us that there's a lot about history we still don't know. Finding this artifact makes us rethink what we thought we knew about ancient societies and how capable they were. It makes us curious and pushes us to explore more about parts of history we haven't discovered yet. Number 10. Ancient Swiss Army Knife. The ancient Swiss Army knife, also dubbed the Roman Army knife, is an incredible discovery dating back to around 200 CE. Ever since its excavation, it has fascinated people worldwide. This extraordinary tool made of silver demonstrates the outstanding skill and cleverness of ancient societies. What truly surprises both enthusiasts and historians is how many functions this ancient marvel had. It's like a modern multi-tool, but way older. It has different blades and tools packed into a small size, such as a knife, spatula, pick, and fork, all cleverly built into its compact design. This variety of uses, created thousands of years ago, shows an amazing level of creativity and attention to detail. Initially thought to be a tool for the military, further investigation revealed its main purpose: eating. Each tool in this amazing gadget served a specific need during mealtime. For example, the fork was used to pick up food, while the knife was perfect for cutting various dishes. The fact that this tool could handle cooking tasks in such a small size shows how adaptable it was for traveling, camping, and different daily jobs. Even though it's ancient, the old Swiss Army knife shows us timeless technology. Its design and many functions have influenced the multi-tools we have today. A lot of the versatile gadgets we use now are based on the smart design ideas found in this ancient artifact. It proves how ancient innovation still affects our modern tools. This amazing tool's impact goes beyond just what it's made of. It gives us a deep look into how creative our ancestors were. They could think up and make such a complete and flexible tool way ahead of their time, showing how clever and inventive they were. Number 9. Stonehenge. Stonehenge, this massive rock puzzle, has baffled minds for ages. Imagine enormous stones, some as tall as a two-story house, standing together in a circular arrangement. It's a prehistoric wonder built between 3000 BC and 2000 BC, long before fancy tools and machines. But how did ancient folks manage to lift these giant rocks, some weighing as much as trucks? This mystery, along with the monument's purpose, keeps scientists scratching their heads. The stones traveled quite a journey. Some of them, the blue stones, came from a spot in Wales, which is around 150 miles away. That's like carrying stones from one city to another. People believe that Stonehenge was built in phases. First, a circular ditch was dug out using basic tools like antlers. Then, the huge stones were somehow transported and put in place. But how they did this, nobody's completely sure. The purpose of this ancient marvel is another puzzle. Some think it was an astronomical observatory, a kind of ancient clock to track the sun, moon, and stars. Others believe it was a sacred place for ceremonies and rituals, maybe even for healing. The truth? Still a mystery waiting to be solved. What makes it more fascinating is that Stonehenge isn't alone. There are similar stone circles scattered across the British Isles, adding more intrigue to why these were built and what they meant to ancient communities. Scientists use cool techniques like carbon dating to figure out the age of things and study the ancient remnants near Stonehenge. They uncover bits of pottery, tools, and even human remains, piecing together clues about the people who might have built and used this incredible site. Even today, Stonehenge draws curious visitors from around the world. It's a place where people connect with history and wonder about the incredible feats achieved by our ancestors. Number 8. Pumapunku. About 45 miles to the west of La Paz in Bolivia, nestled high up in the Andes Mountains, lies Pumapunku, an ancient and mysterious site. This place covers a desert plain way above 12,000 feet and is filled with gigantic stones, some of the biggest ever discovered by humans. Imagine that some of these stones are 26 feet long and weigh more than 100 tons each. Pumapunku's vibe is wrapped in mystery. The huge granite blocks scattered around the area look like a giant's toy set randomly left behind, suggesting something huge and destructive might have happened there a long time ago. Archaeologists are still puzzled by what this enormous structure was for, how it looked originally, and what it was meant to do. While most scientists believe that Pumapunku was built about 2,000 years ago, there are some different ideas about its age. Back in 1945, Arthur Poznansky, a researcher from Bolivia, spent many years studying this site and came up with a very different timeline. He looked at how the structures lined up with stars and planets and thought that Pumapunku might be much, much older, dating back to an astonishing 15,000 BC or even earlier, around 17,000 years ago. But even with all this research, we still don't know exactly how old Pumapunku is. Some people think it could be several thousand years old, while others suggest it might be hundreds of thousands of years old. This uncertainty makes the origins of Pumapunku a fascinating puzzle that's still waiting to be solved. The incredible size and accuracy of Pumapunku's construction go beyond what we'd normally expect. Giant stones, towering up to 25 feet and weighing hundreds of tons, make us wonder how ancient civilizations could build something so massive. The corners of the stones are cut so precisely, and they have these intricate holes that look like they were drilled with a lot of skill. It's way more advanced than what we'd think a primitive society could do. This makes us think about the possibility that the builders might have had advanced technology, maybe even from aliens. When you take a closer look, you'll see amazing details that look like they were made with really precise tools, maybe even like the tools we use today or laser technology. This level of skill is so incredible, unlike anything else found on Earth, and it's leaving experts puzzled. People are coming up with theories about how the ancient builders had such advanced knowledge and technology to create something so remarkable. Number 7. Antii Mechanism. The Antii Mechanism is a remarkable and mysterious invention that showcases the brilliance of ancient Greek minds in science and innovation. Found among the remains of an ancient Greek shipwreck near Antii in 1901, this intricate device remains a source of fascination for experts and historians. It's made up of more than 30 bronze gears, inscriptions, and dials, and it was designed over 2,000 years ago to predict celestial events incredibly accurately during the 1st century BCE. What's especially amazing to researchers is how complex and advanced this ancient gadget is. Essentially, it was like a super old-fashioned computer, able to forecast things like eclipses and the positions of the sun, moon, and planets, an incredibly impressive achievement for its time. This device demonstrates just how much scientific knowledge the ancient Greeks had and suggests they were much more advanced intellectually than we might have thought. In the quest to uncover its secrets, scientists and archaeologists have used advanced modern tools. They've employed things like X-rays and cutting-edge 3D scanning to reveal intricate details, but many questions remain unanswered. The people who made this thing are still a mystery. How did they even come up with the idea for such a complicated device? And what was it used for? One of the most interesting ideas linked to the Antii mechanism is that it might have something to do with the famous Greek thinker Archimedes. Some experts think it shows signs of his spiral of Archimedes in its gears. If this turns out to be true, it would make the device even more important. It would show how someone as brilliant as Archimedes contributed to astronomy and mechanics. This old gadget isn't just a thing from the past. It's like a time capsule that holds knowledge we've forgotten about. It also makes us wonder how much ancient people knew and what other cool inventions might be hidden in history. Number 6. Damascus Steel. Damascus Steel, a famous metal with a rich history, has fascinated people for ages due to its special charm. It's well known for the beautiful designs it forms on knives and swords, and this unique way of making metal started in the Middle East. It has a legacy of being both beautiful and strong. What makes Damascus steel different is the pretty pattern it has, which comes from an old method of mixing different kinds of steel. Craftsmen carefully use welding, folding, and lots of hammering to create this amazing pattern. This technique doesn't just make the blades look cool, it also makes them strong and sharp, so they last a long time. For centuries, the secrets of making Damascus steel have been a mystery. Although modern experts have uncovered some parts of its secretive process, much of it remains hidden in history's depths. The detailed steps of the ancient method, the exact mix of steel types used, and the precise techniques of the skilled craftsmen are still not fully understood, adding an aura of mystery to this craft. Stories passed down over time speak of almost magical powers attributed to this legendary metal, suggesting it could cut through metals or even stone, an idea that adds to the fascination and mystery surrounding Damascus steel. Even today, Damascus steel continues to captivate people. Fans and collectors from all over the world admire this ancient craft, especially when it's seen in beautifully made knives and swords. The bits of knowledge we've gathered from history allow artisans to bring back and reimagine this ancient technique, creating new pieces of artistry that keep the tradition alive. Now it's time for today's subscriber pick. You see, scientists still can't explain this ancient technology. Akin to a vintage radio, its intricate design captivates with an air of ancient wisdom, leaving experts bewildered by its purpose and function. This relic poses a profound mystery. How did our ancestors craft such advanced technology, seemingly ahead of its time? Its cryptic symbols and mechanisms challenge the limits of our understanding, evoking curiosity about civilizations long past. Examining this enigmatic apparatus raises more questions than answers. Could it hold the key to lost knowledge, concealing secrets from a forgotten era? What ingenious applications did it serve in an age we struggle to comprehend? Even though we've learned a lot about how advanced ancient civilizations were, there are still some inventions we can't figure out. Trying to understand these old technologies not only shows how smart ancient people were, but also makes us wonder if there's knowledge from the past that we've lost or different ways technology could have developed. As scientists and historians keep trying to solve this mystery, it reminds us of how many fascinating things are hidden in human history. Let us know what you think about this ancient artifact in the comments below. Number 5. The Ageless Sword of Guan. The Ageless Sword of Guan is an extraordinary relic that comes from China's spring and autumn period. Its story has echoed through time for more than 2,000 years, symbolizing endurance and mystery. Made from a mix of bronze and iron using the finest sword-making methods in China, this sword has fascinated people all around the world. Even after so many centuries, this ancient weapon still showcases unmatched craftsmanship. It's incredible how well preserved it is, and how sharp its edge remains. Usually, metal objects like this would have corroded or worn out, but this sword has defied that expectation, sparking both awe and speculation. Its enduring sharpness and strength have led to stories about mystical powers, suggesting that something otherworldly might be behind its incredible durability. The story of King Guan of Yue intertwines history and legend. He's said to have used this special sword to win a big battle against the King of Wu, called the Battle of Tingyu. After his victory, Guan did something very symbolic. He buried the sword with his own body. It wasn't just about winning. It represented his dedication to being a fair ruler. For centuries, the sword stayed buried until the 1960s when it was found in King Guan's tomb. What's amazing is that the sword looked almost new, despite being buried for so long. Historians and archaeologists were astonished by how well preserved both the blade and handle were. This artifact is a big part of Chinese history and culture. People have been studying it for years, trying to figure out why it stayed in such good condition. Even after a lot of research, its secrets about how it stayed so strong have remained a mystery, beyond what modern science can explain. The Ageless Sword of Guan isn't just an old thing. It's a symbol of strength, honor, and the lasting impact of ancient China. Its story brings together history, legend, and the unwavering spirit of King Guan, creating a legend that celebrates victory and a commitment to being a good leader. Number 4. Ancient earthquake detectors. Thousands of years ago, people often relied on their instincts to predict natural disasters like earthquakes or floods. But in some cultures, there were clever inventions designed specifically to predict earthquakes, such as the seismoscope, created around 130 AD in ancient China by the brilliant astronomer Chang Heng. Picture the seismoscope, a bronze urn decorated with 8 dragon heads placed around its top. Each dragon held a bronze ball in its mouth, and underneath them were toads with open mouths. This design wasn't just for looks, it was a hidden, sophisticated device. When the ground shook during an earthquake, the movement would make the balls drop from the dragons' mouths, landing perfectly into the open mouths of the waiting toads. This action would show which direction the earthquake was coming from. It's amazing how precise this device was, especially considering the limited scientific knowledge at that time. The fascination with these ancient earthquake detectors lies in the fact that they existed in a time when scientific understanding was very basic. It's incredible to think that people thousands of years ago could create such an accurate device, even though they didn't have the scientific knowledge that we have today. How did these ancient minds come up with and build something so precise using only the resources and knowledge available to them back then? The creation of a device capable of predicting earthquakes required a remarkable blend of imagination and skill. It's a testimony to the imaginative intellect of our ancestors, showcasing their ability to combine keen observation with creative problem-solving. Their knack for merging spiritual symbols, such as the dragon and toad, with practical scientific design, reveals a worldview where science and spirituality were intricately connected. These seismoscopes were more than just interesting gadgets. They served as tools to safeguard lives and communities. Their accuracy might have offered early warnings, granting people valuable time to seek safety or fortify buildings. This ancient innovation speaks volumes about humanity's enduring quest to comprehend and harness the powers of nature for survival. It reflects a timeless pursuit of understanding and adapting to our environment. Number 3. The Nimrod Lens. The purpose behind the creation of the Nimrod Lens, an ancient object discovered in the Middle East, remains a mystery that is unlikely to be conclusively resolved. This artifact, also referred to as the layered lens, possesses magnification properties identical to the earliest telescopes. Notably, while the telescope emerged as an invention in the early 17th century, the Nimrod lens predates it by approximately 3,000 years. Unearthed amidst the ruins of an ancient Assyrian palace in Iraq in 1850, the lens's discovery suggests it was once in the possession of an individual of considerable wealth and influence. However, the specific use intended for this lens remains uncertain. Several speculations exist regarding its potential function. It could have served as a burning lens, harnessing the sun's rays to initiate fires through focused heat. Alternatively, it might have functioned as an advanced magnifying glass, an innovation far ahead of its time if intentionally crafted. Constructed from rock crystal, the Nimrod lens exhibits robustness, designed to withstand the test of time. Its enduring nature implies that future generations will likely continue studying and attempting to unravel the purpose behind its creation for centuries to come. Number 2. The underground Hypogeum of Hal Saflieni. The underground Hypogeum of Hal Saflieni in Malta has fascinated archaeologists and visitors for many years. It was first a sacred place that turned into a burial site during ancient times. But what makes this spot unique is the strange and spooky sounds you can hear there. These sounds create a strange feeling in the rooms and tunnels. People who explore the Hypogeum have talked about hearing all sorts of weird noises like echoes bouncing around and whispers floating in the air. Some folks even say they've heard ghostly voices or felt strange energies, making them wonder if there are ancient spirits or magical forces at play. Even though experts have tried hard to figure out where these spooky sounds come from, the mystery remains unsolved. There are different ideas about why these strange sounds happen. Some people think it's because of how the rooms and passages were built. They believe that the special way these places are designed might create these weird noises. Others think these sounds were made on purpose, part of the Hypogeum's plan. But whether they were made for rituals or as a part of the design, we still don't know the real reason behind these weird echoes. Number 1. Feos Disc. The mysterious Feos Disc is evidence of ancient cleverness, a clay object made around 1700 BCE, found on the sunny Greek island of Crete. Its puzzling nature has confused researchers, making it one of the most baffling discoveries in archaeology. Made carefully from clay, this disc has a detailed set of symbols arranged in a spiral pattern on its surface. These puzzling markings, unlike any other known writing, haven't been understood yet, making the disc very mysterious and hard to figure out. Scholars and archaeologists are interested in these symbols. Some think they might be an early version of Linear A, an old script used by the Minoans in the Bronze Age. On the other hand, some believe these symbols might look like the hieroglyphs used by ancient Egyptians, making the disc even more puzzling. What makes the Feos disc so special is that it's one of a kind. Even though many ancient objects with writing have been found, none of them are quite like this disc with its unique symbols. This makes it hard to figure out what the symbols mean, especially because they're arranged in a spiral, which is different from how we usually read things. Many experts have tried hard to understand the mysterious writing on the Feos Disc. But no matter how much they try, this secret language keeps its meanings hidden and is tough to figure out. The spiral pattern on the disc makes it even harder to understand. This disc makes us wonder a lot about how ancient people communicated, how writing systems developed, and how knowledge spread between different cultures. Because it's so hard to understand, it challenges what we know and makes researchers even more curious to uncover the secrets of ancient times. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.